after years of taking these antidepressants and SSRIs, I quite literally wanted to keep putting a gun in my mouth.
So yeah, let's give us an overview as to what had happened to you, in the past where you were initially injured.
So I served in the army for 10 years. I was in Afghanistan in 2007 with Garrett here, and during a rescue operation, I was the lead vehicle racing out when my Humvee drove over an anti-tank mine, taking out everybody in the vehicle, destroying the vehicle. Everyone was medevac, but I struggled for, that was what, 18 years ago now, and
Wow.
I struggled to get any assistance from the VA. I was never diagnosed with a TBI. I was never ever treated. Due to the urgency on the battlefield, people had broken backs, broken legs. People were, vomiting and were concussed. I was concussed for a few minutes, but I didn't have the same urgent medical needs as the other team members. So everyone else got treated except for me.
Wow.
Lo and behold, 10 years, 15 years later, I'm struggling. I'm having all these major issues, and come to learn that a lot of my friends that I served with, Garrett being one of them, Josh, who being the other, are like, Josh was really like, listen, I know exactly what you're talking about. Have you thought about stem cells? I was like, no, I got only heard of it through the news. But I was struggling with controlling my emotions, hypervigilance. One of the big things was headaches that would turn into vertigo. And I was working for a nonprofit helping veterans at the time. And one of the worst things that was happening was I'd be driving a client and I would get a headache that would turn into vertigo, and I would have to pull over and it would become an emergency. And that was it was humiliating and debilitating at the same time. The VA especially was just pushing SSRIs and more medication. And after years of taking these antidepressants and SSRIs, I quite literally wanted to keep putting a gun in my mouth. And when the stem cell thing came across, I absolutely jumped on it. I was like, I'll do anything to not feel like the way I was feeling. So it was Josh Lindstrom with the Blastology Foundation who convinced me to give this a shot, meet with you, and here we are today. I was having less suicidal thoughts. I'm feeling great. I'm feeling happier than I've ever been.